What's up, guys? Welcome to another episode of the Absolute Strength Podcast. I am bringing back the video version. I know I haven't done much with the video aspect of the podcast pretty much for the entire life of the podcast, but, I've come to the conclusion that there's no sense in doing that. So I'm going to upload the video aspect of the podcast from here on out. Hope you enjoy it. Today's episode is with Nick Bear, my buddy Nick Bear. We've known each other for a long time. We had a lot of fun in this conversation. We talked about a wide range of things, like I always do on the podcast. But specifically, I wanted to talk about what Nick recently did. He walked from Austin, Texas, to Houston, Texas, 150 miles over the course of 4 days to raise money for the Hurricane Harvey recovery, and. It's super motivating. I think you guys are going to get a lot out of this, and just enjoy the show. All right, here you go. Nick Bear, what's up, dude?
What's going on, man? It's been a while since I've been on the podcast, but it's only been a few months since I've seen you. You've done an awesome few months ago.
Yeah, shit, dude. That was a fun weekend. That was awesome.
Dude, I'm telling you, that was probably the best weekend I've had in that I can think of. Especially with a group of people that haven't met before in person, and all social media influencers bringing them together. The energy was high. It was a good group of people, and it was just fun. So much fun.
Yeah, dude. And what's funny is since that weekend, I've had a bunch of the guys on the podcast since then, and every single person that went to that weekend has said the same thing, that it was the most fun weekend. It was an awesome group. Everyone, what was weird is a lot of times when you get, especially with social media influencers, quote unquote influencers, when you get a group of people like-minded together, there tends to be a couple people that don't fit in, but that just didn't happen that weekend.
No, it was. I kept looking over Zach because Zach was filming.
Uh-huh.
And dude, I was everyone is just in the same type of personality, just very good atmosphere, very good vibe, and it was fun. I'm trying to plan another event like that. So everyone's been asking when's the next powerlifting seminar? When's the next meetup? So I want to put something together with the same group of people. Same type of event where it's some sort of seminar-based, information-based, and then fun shenanigan stuff.
Yeah, dude, I'm definitely down. That was an awesome weekend.
Oh my god, I go back and I watch that video sometimes that we put together, and it jacks me up, dude.
It does, dude. It was like the beginning of a Netflix series. Zach did a killer job.
It was a blast, man. It was so much fun.
How'd that come about? I don't know if I even asked you about that.
So I was at the Arnold, and Paul Revelia it was Paul Revelia and then George Rosado walked up to me. And they were like, hey, we should get together sometime. And I just out of nowhere was like, we should do a powerlifting seminar, because George's Instagram was growing like crazy at the time.
Yeah.
With his powerlifting movements and stuff, the do's and don'ts. So it sparked there. And I just started thinking who would be great to come to this event. So I reached out to you, I reached out to Russ, Matt Vincent, different in Silent Mike, people that are in functional, Matt Vincent coming from Highland Games, and then you with powerlifting, Silent Mike and George with powerlifting. You had Paul with bodybuilding. There was just so much variety of experience and time. And I slowly just started building it together, build a Facebook page, and then started announcing it in videos and stuff, and man, it just blew up.
Yeah, it was a pretty good turnout too.
It was a good turnout. I think it was the right size where we could reach the people and give some sort of instruction, and then hang out and work out.
Yeah, because I think if it was any bigger, it would have been really hard to meet everybody, actually answer people's questions. 'Cause I know I talked about the bench press, and I don't know, I probably talked for 30 minutes or whatever, and then afterwards a bunch of people came up and asked questions, kind of in addition to, and I think that's where people really learn. You know what I mean? They take in the seminar and the presentation, but then they kind of have one specific question that pertains to them, and they want to actually go out and ask it. I think they'll probably take more from that than anything else.
Yeah, and to be honest, I was kind of nervous how the execution would be, because I wasn't sure if people were there to actually learn about the powerlifting and movements and stuff, or if they were there just to work out and meet people.
Mm-hmm.
So I was trying to balance it. I was walking around the entire time, looking at people's reactions and faces. And I was just I was nervous that I wanted people to enjoy their time there and get exactly what they want out of it. So I think we balanced it well, where it was the meetup in the beginning, the information, lifting meetup. I was exhausted by the end of it.
Yeah. Well, shit. We were we trained the night before too.
Stupid, dude. How about that, man? Everyone comes in. We go get burgers and fries and shakes.
Yeah.
It's like 10 p.m. We go to the gym. We like a lot of us pulled 600 cold.
Yeah.
But like, man, that's why I love that gym so much. Like the atmosphere, the energy's high. At that time, we can blare the music, open the garage doors.
You can't do that anymore?
No, the thing is, we can now. So what happened was in our business park where our distribution center is located, our neighbors moved.
Oh, okay. Yeah, because were they were complaining or something?
There's this one guy who come over and complain, and he's not there anymore. So like one day we were playing it quiet, and some of the business people from down this road came over, and they were like, "Hey, where's the music at?" And we were like, "Well, we didn't want to annoy people." They were like, "No, turn that stuff up. We missed that."
Oh shit.
Dude, so yeah, it's been nice. Like we've been playing the music loud again, and garage doors are open now. It's cooling off a little bit too. It's just like music playing all
perfect.
the time.
Yeah, dude, it was a great atmosphere. Like it was just like if you were there, get the music playing. And another thing too is like the company too. Like just everyone that was there, everyone was like really motivating. Like shit, you can do a lot of shit.
Dude, the amount of caffeine, like I remember when we were filming I was watching the video afterwards. I did my speech and I'm drinking like a purple Monster. And in the next clip, I'm talking to someone. I'm drinking a white Monster. Clip after that, I'm drinking like a red Monster. It was like,
yeah. Well, it was funny because I almost had the same thing because I was looking at pictures and I had like a different colored Monster in my hand, like almost every picture. I was like, shit, how many did I drink that day?
Well, that's because Monster. One day, it was like a week before the event, and this Monster truck pulls up.
Mm-hmm.
So it ended up Matt Vincent had a contact, hit up Monster. Monster dropped off like 200 Monsters.
Well, I know he had like it was like all you can drink. It was like the whole we had those fucking garbage bags or garbage cans like
garbage cans.
Yeah,
garbage cans full of Monster. Dude, I still have right now in my fridge where I'm sitting. I got the Monster protein shake still sitting in there.
Oh, did they drop off the Monster protein shakes then too?
Yeah, they dropped off like 100 of those, so like they're still sitting there.
I've never tried those. Are they good?
No, that's why they're still sitting in there.
I don't know. You know what I've been using a lot in the morning is In Focus.
Oh, dude, In Focus it's game changing, man.
Good. I love that shit. I've been using that in the morning. I take a couple scoops and get to work.
Yeah, there's usually I'll do a cold brew in the morning,
mm-hmm.
but if there's mornings where I really need to be productive, I'll take 2 scoops of that and I just zone out.
Yeah,
I'll knock out everything I need in that morning.
Yeah, it's dude, it's so cool when we get to sit down and talk because like. Man, I remember the old days when we're sitting in our dorm rooms and you were calling me up. We were talking about BPN.
That's been the craziest journey, man. Like it all happens so fast, and then like what happens like every day. I'm in the moment, and I'm like I'm not satisfied with where I'm at. Mm-hmm. But then if I take a step back and look at like where I started, like in my college apartment, like maybe a 5 by 10 foot room, calling you on the phone like. Hey, Kyle, I'm starting the supplement company. I'd love to send you some pre-workout.
Yeah.
And I remember shipping this stuff out of my apartment, and like I'd keep all the inventory back at my parents' house.
Yeah.
And I'd go back like every other weekend and grab like a case of 12 bottles because 12 bottles to ship out would last me like 2 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like from going there to then shipping out of my house when I moved to Texas, and now the warehouse. And then having to close the gym for more warehouse space, like seeing that growth. If I look at it like from that perspective, I'm like, okay, we're growing, we're doing well. But I think every day I get caught up with like, we need to be doing better. We need to be doing better. You know?
Well, yeah. I think that's part of the growth. You know what I mean? Like that's what's driven you to make the progress. It's just it's like you're never really satisfied. You always are looking at the next thing. Always, you know. But also it's important to look back and be like, oh shit, look how far we've come.
Yeah, it's cool because my dad, back at home, he keeps, we've gone through multiple different products and labels and manufacturers, and he keeps at least one bottle from each run. So, like, Flight itself, our pre-workout, has gone through, like, 8 different label changes.
Oh, I remember, yeah.
And bottles. So he keeps one of each. So when I go home, I look at it, I'm like, man, just to see the differences and the changes we've made is just insane.
Yeah, I remember the old school bottles that your hands would get stuck in when it would get low.
The tall, thin, white and black ones. Yeah.
I remember those.
The fruit punch,
The fruit punch, yeah, it was the fruit punch flight. Yeah.
That's not even a flavor anymore, man.
No.
Yeah, that was the original. I remember I had my buddy. He drew up. He did the labels for me. Very amateur.
Hmm.
Um, and our website, building the website, built it from scratch, and it was just like
Yeah, I
just
remember.
in the beginning
I remember at
stages.
one point I think I had like my own section on the website where
Yeah, you did. I had like all our sponsored athletes, and you were our first like
yeah,
athlete we had. I remember that.
yeah, I remember that, dude. And I remember we talked on the phone. I think one time we were talking about whether you should keep creatine in flight or not.
And we did end up taking it out.
Yeah, it's funny how I remember that specifically. Like one time we were talking about that.
Yeah, I remember one of the other people I talked to first was Brandon Campbell as
Yep.
well,
Hmm.
and I sent him a few bottles. And that's when like the YouTube game was very like it was small.
Yeah, yeah, definitely
Yeah,
was.
that's right. I remember like I would watch like you, Nick Wright, and J.R. Barthel.
Yep, Jr.
And I remember like in Mad August, and I'd
Yep.
be sitting in my dorm room, and I'd get mad if like one of you guys didn't upload a video like every day. I'd be like, man, I need to keep up with these guys. And then when I reached out to you, I was like on a limb. I was like, I'm gonna reach out to Kyle Hunt, see if he'll respond. And you responded, and I was like, oh crap, like let's get on a phone call, let's make moves. And yeah, that's where it all started. It was crazy.
Dude, it's awesome, dude, and it's cool to here we are, and you know what's really cool about it is like to look back and see how many people who might have been doing shit a few years ago, but fallen off or not currently doing it. You know what I mean? Like that's one of the things I think about sometimes. Like shit, I started online coaching like in 2010. And over the years, like so many people have started and been successful too, but then for whatever reason didn't keep it up and then fallen off. And then, it's kind of like a lot of success is just, it's like a battle of attrition. You just got to stick with it,
Yeah, that's so true. Like there's things that I pick up and like I lose interest in.
Oh, yeah.
But like with BPN, I started it and it was struggling forever, but I never had the thought of like, well, this isn't going to work out. I just kept like, you just keep putting in the work, like not with the hopes it's going to take off, but it's just like, that if you just keep doing it and you keep putting the time, like something's bound to like blossom.
Well, yeah, if you keep putting in the work, you keep doing all the right things, all the right processes, eventually it's going to click. It's like you keep doing the right thing, eventually something's going to become of it. You don't know what, but something.
And you get these small little victories along the way, like maybe you get more clients or you get more sales or like
Yep.
you're getting better feedback. Then it's like, all right, we're moving in a forward progression. Let's make a few changes here, a few changes, and you see the change. Like you'll see a direct result based off these small changes you make, and it's like, wow, this is like super fulfilling.
Well, it's a lot like training when you think of it. You know what I mean? Like it's a lot like training. Like it takes time to make progress, but you make just enough progress. You get just enough strength or just enough, changing in your physique to keep you motivated. And then when you look back after 5 years or something, oh wow, I've actually made a lot of physique changes.
Yeah, and I mean it's a direct result of you get out of it what you put in.
Yes, exactly. That's what life's all about.
Yeah, and that's like with training too. Like I think that's what kept me so motivated when I was in the Army too. Is like I'd go on these little like training events. I'd be gone for like a month, and I'd look at myself in the mirror, like I lost everything.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like it's train. Now, when I was in the Army, it was train, lose, train. It was gain, lose. And it's crazy how well my body's adapted now that I'm out, and like training and gaining is so much easier when I can have some consistency in my life.
Yeah, I mean it's
some sort of routine.
It must have been pretty tough to make progress, but you got it done. I mean, you still did it. But what was your schedule like when you were in the Army?
So it was like I had to be at work at 6 for a meeting before PT. So I would wake up at 4:30. I'd drive into work. I had about a half hour drive into work, and Fort Hood is huge. Mm-hmm. So sometimes we get stuck at like the gate for a half hour. So we'd have a meeting at 6. PT would be from 6:30 to 7:30, and then work would start at 9. So like, what we would do on a typical day at work changes. Sometimes you're in the field training, sometimes you're planning training, sometimes you're in meetings. We'd be done. It's supposed to be done at 5 p.m. Mm-hmm. That could be from 5 p.m. to 8 p.m. If we're in the field, it could be you're in the field Monday through Friday. So it changed all the time. Like there was no 9 to 5. It was. There were times we were gone for a month at a time. There were times we were gone for like 2 weeks at a time. It was all over the place, especially in the summer.
When did you get your training in? Your own physical, like lifting stuff?
Oh, dude. So, man, I would get back from work maybe 6 p.m. And I'd go straight to the gym. So a lot of times I'd get back from the gym like 11 or 12 p.m. and then edit video. I remember like sitting in my bed and when I was really trying to grow my YouTube channel.
Yeah.
I'd get back from the gym like 11, 12 p.m. I'd edit video till like 2, and then I'd sleep till like 4:30 and just straight sucking, man.
Oh, man.
I would sleep after PT. So PT would end at 7:30. I would sleep from like 7:30 to 8:30, then go into work. And then during lunch, we had lunch from 11:30 to 1. I'd sleep in my truck during that time.
Yeah.
And I just remember just like always being tired.
Yeah, I was gonna say, man, you're just like always trying to sneak in a little bit of sleep. But dude, that's the hustle right there.
Yeah, that was a struggle. And looking back, like that's where you make your money.
Oh yeah.
That's where I really made my money and super productive. And it feels weird now that I have all this time. And it feels so weird. Like I can get all this stuff done in a day, and then the evenings I have like. The transition has been so awkward because I went from trying to fit in everything outside of work to now my second job is my primary job.
Yep.
And I have all the time in the world to do this stuff.
Well, yeah, but sometimes like the busier you are, the more focused you have to be on time management, the more shit you get done. Like sometimes when it's like what's it called? It's like the Pareto principle or something that whenever you have a task, it expands to the amount of time that you have to do it. So it's like when you're super busy, like when you're in the army, like you literally had to have your day scheduled like right down to a T to get everything done. But then when as an entrepreneur life, like you literally have all day to get it done. You have a lot more shit to do, but you still have all day to do it. Sometimes it's like even harder to be on top of yourself when you have an open-ended schedule.
Oh, I completely agree. Like I liked my routine, I think, more when I was in the army.
I can believe it.
I enjoy like sucking, like being in the suck where it's like you're tired, you're falling behind, you're trying to keep up. I enjoy that feeling. Like to me, it's rewarding. Like when you're staying on top of everything, even though you feel like you're falling behind, that just like, I like endorphins just like flying off, and that's one of the things when I talked about doing this ruck march is like, I was telling Joe before I stepped off, I was like, I'm looking forward to the suck. Like, I'm looking forward to hurting because like I enjoy that feeling.
What's what's the Navy SEAL quote? Embrace the suck. Isn't that what that is? Yeah, embrace the suck. Yeah, that's what it's about. That's what you did.
So yeah, I just feel good from that.
No, I hear you. Like it's funny because I think back to like wrestling in high school. It's the same thing. Like just like the grueling workouts and. Like shit, that's when you like the winners thrive. You know what I mean? Like you have to be able to go through that. You have to be able to go and push yourself to the absolute limit in order to get the results.
And like now you can tell a lot from a person just by like asking them or challenging them to a task.
Oh yeah.
So like if you're about to go do something and you know it's gonna suck and you ask them to do it and they instantly say no, it's like don't you want to be challenged? Like don't you like you want to feel some sort of pain. And when you're done, it's so rewarding,
Yeah, you can learn a lot about somebody in the gym in that way. You know what I mean? Like you get, you're working out with your buddy or something, and you think of a challenge to do, and it's like, hey, you want to go off program and you want to do this, like this, whatever it is. The people who step up are generally going to be the people who step up in other facets of life too. The people who say no immediately are going to be the people who say no in other challenges too.
Oh yeah, I completely agree. And you can pick that out, those people out of the crowd just from small little things.
Oh yeah, the little details. It's like it's how you do anything is how you do everything.
Completely agree, man.
It's like
I can't agree more.
Well, shit. It's even like with this podcast, and trust me, like I know everyone's super busy, so I get it. But like I'm constantly scheduling podcasts with people. You know what I mean? And like I almost like for most people, like if I don't know someone very well and I schedule them, I almost build in that first time they're gonna cancel. Like I just almost always build it in that they're gonna cancel just because, it's one of those things. But certain people, like whether I know them well or not, maybe I just get like a vibe. I'm like, nah, I know this person's gonna be there. I know they're gonna do it. It's just funny.
That's one of my biggest pet peeves is like the people being on time or counting on people to be there, like
Yep.
hold someone to their word.
Yes.
So like, if people bail all the time or they're late or like they don't follow through with things they're going to say they do, that drives me insane, man. It's like one of my biggest pet peeves. And I lose complete trust in that person. Like, it's like, how do you count on someone if they continue to let you down on these small little things?
Yeah, and a lot of it's just like little shit, but it adds up. And how, again, it kind of goes back to what we were saying. Like, if even something as simple as a gym time, like you're going to train at 1 o'clock or whatever, and if someone repeatedly like can't make it or bumps it back or at the last second says they can't make it, like you just lose trust in them. So then it might be something else that you wanted them to do, or maybe you had an opportunity for them, but you're like, I don't know if I'm going to bring that opportunity to them because literally every time we go to the gym, like they can't make it, or they always have an excuse, or you know what I mean? So it's like that expands.
Yeah, and time is valuable, and that's something like I've really learned to like, I guess, grasp and understand lately. Is like your time is so valuable, and that's why I end up doing a lot of stuff on my own and by myself, because like sometimes it's just easier and it's faster for me to do it and get it done. So like with the business growing and all these things going on, we have so many people reaching out to us that like they wanted to sit down and talk about how they can integrate their proposition into our business plan. They want to the business, and I used to sit down and listen to everyone, but that ended up just being such a waste of time. Like, you can tell in the first 5 minutes, like, okay, this is a waste of my time.
Yep.
So now, like, you gotta treat your time like it's valued time, and just sit down with the people that are going to create value for you.
Yep. Well, one of the things since becoming a dad, Lucy she just turned 3 years old. It's crazy. So it's like, can't believe I've been a dad for 3 years, but like,
I can't believe I've been a dad for 3 years.
I know it's wild, but it's just like when you got a lot of shit going on with the business and then with a family life, like you just realize the value of time, and almost like you realize who you want to let in, because a lot of times, and it's kind of shitty to say, but a lot of times people just aren't worth your time. You know what I mean? Like, it's like, man, because you only have 24 hours in a day. I know everyone says that, and it's the truth. So when you want to get a lot done, you can make time for whatever it is, but you can't always add. Eventually, you're going to have to subtract. And if you want to have time to yourself, to do training for the business, to have some fun, spend time with the little one, your family, whatever, like you can't always add. So sometimes you just got to subtract. And if someone's not going to be worth your time, they're not going to bring value to you. Sometimes you just got to let them out.
Yeah, I listened to a podcast recently that really hit home on that. And this guy was talking about how, like, they'll get into a business meeting and everyone will start small talk.
Yep.
And he'll be the guy that stands up and says, like, guys, cut the small talk. Like, people will be like, oh, so where'd you grow up at?
Yeah,
I know someone from there. Like, none of that conversation means shit. It's just small talk before anyone actually wants to start business. So this guy's like, I'm the guy that stands up and says, like, cut the small talk, let's get to business. And he also said, like, when he has like very busy days, he'll like completely cut out all just like conversation with people. And I'll say, like, if I want to talk to someone, I'll go home and talk to my wife and my kids. Yeah. But today I need to get work done, and there's a certain list of things I need to accomplish before that day's over. I can't just bullshit all day. Yeah. And that put things like really into perspective, where it's like, okay, like time is really valuable when you're busy and you're trying to accomplish something. And it's kind of like take it with a grain of salt, I guess, whatever position you're in. Yeah. I mean, it's like it's a delicate balance, and this is something I've thought about a lot recently, because it's like, man, I've realized, like, I've been so focused on like what I want to accomplish, like pretty much like my whole life is like training, business, and then whatever's left is for family, that it's almost like you realize that you do have like a little bit of a void. You're like, oh man, I do wish I had like a better group of people that I'm friends with, you know what I mean? So it is a delicate balance, but it's like, it's tough to really find it. A lot of times, and this is what's great about podcasts and social media and stuff, like it doesn't, you're not limited to who lives by you anymore. Like shit, you and me, we're sitting here right now. Like we've been friends for years, and we've never lived next to each other. It's just you have to find people who you connect with, who you're like-minded with, and reach out to them. Like it might not be your neighbor, you know what I mean? Yeah, that's actually one thing me and my brother talk about a lot is, it's finding that balance, and we definitely enjoy the balance. We live down here in Austin, Texas. Mm-hmm. There's so much to do. Go out and have fun and explore. But like when I was in high school and college, you find those groups of people that you just click with instantly, and you have like a group of like 100 people that you can just go and just BS with.
Yeah, yeah.
And then I feel like as you get older and you develop more professionally, that group of people gets smaller.
Smaller and smaller, yeah.
Smaller and smaller. And to find the people that you actually can connect with on a personal and professional basis that have the same like values and interests, it does like very dwindle down.
That's something I've thought about a lot recently, because it's like I sit back and I'm like, man, why? Like, I almost want to like try to figure out why that is. It's like, man, why has my circle like gotten so small over the years? But then when you sit back and analyze it, it's like you hit the nail on the head. Like, you start out, think back to like high school and college. Like, you have another thing too is like accessibility. Like when we're on a college campus or in high school, like you have like it's just easy to connect with a lot of people. Like everyone's in one spot doing the same thing in the same spot in life. It's almost like you start out at zero. Everyone's at the same level, so to speak, really. Right. And then as you get older, people go in different directions, and you separate. The cream rises to the top almost.
It's true. Like, and some people that are your same age, they can't be doing things because they're not maybe the same financial situation.
Yeah.
Or they're not like mature enough to do some certain things. So that's one thing me and my brother sat down and talked about the other day, is like how different things have changed. Just from like high school, college to now, growing and whatever your goals are, staying oriented on that and trying to find people that are doing the same thing. That's when you really like start moving forward.
Well, yeah, because you wanna find people that don't make you compromise at all. You know what I mean? Like, that's what happens. Like, sometimes when you're super focused on your goals, and it goes with the personal goals, business goals, training goals. When you're really focused on something, you're going in one direction. When people are outside that, you can still be friends with them, but if you start connecting with a lot of people outside those goals, it's not going to be long before you start to sway a little bit, and you don't want to have that sway.
I've experienced that personally. Like,
yeah,
it's whether it's like relationships, or like, just friends. Like, you get in a relationship with someone that doesn't have the same goals or same mindset or doesn't want the same things. You kind of start getting influenced to moving towards what they want rather than what your like values are based around. Then you kind of pull yourself away a little bit, or maybe when it ends, you're like, okay, back on track. Like, what was I doing?
Yeah, it starts with like a little compromise. You know what I mean? Like, it's like a little compromise, and then before you know it, you're like, oh shit, I've compromised a lot, and now I'm kind of off track here.
That's why it's good to have like people that hold you accountable. Like my brother, if I go in the office and he sees me like just moving a little off deviation of what I'm trying to do, he'll put me on track. And
that's awesome.
Yeah, it's great. I get mad at him at the time.
Do you have to do that to him too?
I'm in denial, but in retrospect, I'm like, all right, he's looking out for me, and we have a solid team where we all do that for each other, because we have our goals written down on our board of what we're trying to accomplish for that month. We have like quotas we want to meet or accounts we want to pick up, and if we don't hit those, it's like there's tension high in the office.
Yeah, well, that's good. I mean, you need that. It's like the checks and balances.
Yeah, absolutely.
You need that. So let's talk about this 150-mile walk. So explain to everybody how this came about. You walked from Austin to Houston to raise money for the Hurricane Harvey relief. Let's dig into that a little bit.
Yeah, so it was like right after Hurricane Harvey, and Hurricane Harvey, or Houston, where it happened, is 150 miles from me. I'm in Austin, and I wasn't in Austin that weekend. I was in Kansas City doing some work for Alpha Clothing. But I got back and I was like, man, I want to do something to help raise money. So I was like, we should do a Ruck March, because Ruck March is like my bread and butter in the military, especially infantry. Like, you throw on 35 pounds, you walk between like 4 and 12 miles. As typical pace is like 4 miles an hour.
Okay.
So I brought it up around Preston and Joe, and I was like, I'm going to do a Ruck March. And I think I said I'm going to do like 25 miles. I'm going to raise as much money as possible. And then Joe was like, you should walk to Houston. And I was like, deal. So I knew if I put it on social media, that's why I like social media. It holds me accountable.
The social pressure, yeah.
So I put it on Instagram. I was like, I'm walking from Austin to Houston, 150 miles, and we're going to raise money for the efforts in Houston from Hurricane Harvey. And that was like 2 weeks ago that we planned this. So I set up an account on GoFundMe where all the money was donated to the efforts. We raised about $9,000 over I think it was 11 days. Which I was happy with. And then this past Saturday, I stepped off downtown Austin towards Houston So we had like our logistical plan was me, Preston, and Chad. I brought Chad Nutter along to film the whole
To
thing.
film it, yeah.
Because I knew like 5 miles in, if I was holding a camera, I'd be like, screw this, I'm throwing this in my bag. I'm not filming anything.
Well, yeah, it's just, you wouldn't have to deal with that, It kind of allows you to just focus on the march, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
That was a good move.
So our route was, we took 71 to I-10 into Houston. And it was nice because for 2 days, the route was essentially broken up to two. 2 days was spent on 71, 2 days was spent on I-10. I wanted
pretty
to
easy
do it,
route there.
Oh, it was so easy. And I wanted to do it in 3 days originally. I wanted to do 50 miles a day. And then day one, I was like 25 miles in, and I was like, there's no way this is happening. I'm not hitting 50 miles. So I ended up doing like 35, 40 miles a day. And prior to this, the farthest ruck march I've ever done was 26 miles. And it was a year ago in Korea. So like my feet are nowhere conditioned to where they need to be.
Yeah,
my body.
You came up with this like 2 weeks ago, so like obviously you didn't really have much time to prepare.
Yeah, and I didn't even try to train for it. Like I wore my boots a few times. I went on a few hikes. 12 miles into the ruck, I started getting hot spots on my feet.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh no, like I knew I was gonna be in bad shape.
Oh yeah.
By the end of day one, my feet were destroyed. Like I had these blisters on my toes that I've never seen in my life before. And the hardest part I think was waking up in the morning.
Yeah.
I'd wake up and
was it the first day? Was that the hardest? Like this, or the second day? Like
the second day was the hardest day of the 4 days. That's when I was the most sore. I was sunburnt because I took my shirt off. Like right now, my skin's all bubbly from I had like sun poisoning and stuff.
Probably didn't wear sunscreen, did you?
No, I was like, I've been in Texas all summer and didn't wear any sunscreen. Screw it.
Yeah.
So I got sun poisoning. My feet were torn up. Day two was rough, and I ended up having to walk so I walked on the shoulder of the roads. Mm-hmm. And all of 71, it was beautiful. It was black country. It was like cornfields and cows and horses and stuff. Reminded me of Pennsylvania a little bit.
Yeah.
So it was beautiful, but the road that I was on was recently chipped. So like they put tar down and they throw stone over it. It's like a temporary solution to paving a road.
Yeah.
And the shoulder was all loose and it was very rocky. And every step was just killing my feet.
Oh, I can imagine. It's almost like probably walking in sand almost.
Dude, I was taking 4 extra strength Tylenol every 3 hours. And I could tell when I needed it because like it'd be like 3 hours in and it'd be so painful. Pop these 4 extra strength, I'd be good to go for 3 hours. So I stayed on track pretty well. And the way we worked is Preston was driving the truck that we had. He would drive 5 miles ahead, him and Chad. And then I'd walk those 5 miles, meet up with him, grab like a snack and a drink. And then we just kept doing that all day. So I was snacking on like peanuts, almonds, granola bars. I was trying to drink as much water and Gatorade as possible just to stay hydrated. And then day 3, we were on I-10. I carried the flag because it was September 11th.
Yeah.
Which was the coolest day because the amount of people that honked their horns and stopped and pulled over, honestly, it was probably 100 people that pulled over.
I can imagine, yeah. Especially at the flag.
Oh, man, it was like, day 3, I was in the zone. I was super motivated. Like, carrying the flag the whole way. I just felt good. And then day 4, I had to hop off of I-10 because I-10 going into Houston just gets too crazy. It was madness. So we took these back roads. And the back roads took us through residential neighborhoods. So we saw like the destruction of Hurricane Harvey. So,
oh, wow. So you got to actually see some of this stuff.
It was crazy, man. So like as we're walking down the sidewalks, everyone's gutting their house and pulling like the walls out and furniture. So there's piles of debris of like their walls, their couches, personal items, toys, all this stuff just piled up that they're trying to get. It was damaged. It was ruined.
Yeah, there's garbage.
Yeah, and it was funny. I was really like a few miles away from downtown Houston, and I pulled up Instagram Live because Instagram Live like a few times a day.
Yeah, I saw that. It was pretty cool.
And one of the comments on there was like, "I am 2 cars behind you right now." I turned around. There's this girl waving at me. She's 2 cars behind me, watching my Instagram Live. So I got to talk to her for a while, and she was one of the people that helped out with the whole thing. She had a boat out there, and she was rescuing people and
in Houston,
elderly. Yeah. And Tuesday, we started Saturday morning, ended Tuesday afternoon, and which was 2 days ago, and I was wrecked. Like my body is wrecked right now.
Oh man. But then, so you walked. So let's put it in perspective. So it took you what, 4 days?
4 days,
So
yeah.
about what it goes out to about 35, 40 miles a day, pretty much.
Yeah, 35 or 40.
And so you go 4 days in a row. You finish up, drive back to Austin, and then you get a workout in.
Oh yeah, we finished up the Ruck. We went, I was like, I just wanted to sleep and get off my feet at that point. Went and got some Torchy's tacos in Houston, which is like, I felt great, Torchy's tacos. And then on the way home, I turned around to Chad. I was like, "Hey man, do you want to train tonight?" So we went and hit chest, and it was one of the worst workouts I've ever had in my life.
I can imagine. Probably didn't go very well.
It was garbage. Hit chest, and then went and got some Texas barbecue and just chilled. And then I started like examining my body the next day for everything that's messed up. So like my hips are chafed raw, my back's peeling. It's all banged up. My feet are probably the worst, though. My feet are destroyed. I can
imagine your feet are destroyed.
But, when I was walking, one of the things I mentioned to Preston and Chad was, and I wanted to put myself through some pain because, like, the pain I experienced on the Ruck is nowhere close to what people in Houston experienced, are, and will in the future, like the devastation. So I can't even compare the pain that I felt in my feet, my body, to what they feel. But, like, as I was walking day 2, which was the hardest day, my feet, like, I was just like sucking so hard. But like, I consciously was like, well, my mind is like super clear. Like my mind is so clear, even though my body hurts. And I just started focusing on my mind and just kept it off my feet, and I felt great. And I was like, man, well, your body is like an accessory to what your mind wants to do. And it was crazy how like much I could influence how my body felt just by keeping like my mind clear.
Yeah, keeping positive.
I keep my mind clear, and I put like a good song. I listened to like one album the entire time, all 4 days.
What'd you listen to?
It was Aaron Watson, Underdog, and just like Texas country.
Yeah.
On repeat, and I just felt pure American, and I was just like, it put me in a good mood. I just walked, and the support I had from people online too, just motivated me to just like go faster and faster. There were times when I'd start running out of nowhere just because I was excited. Because like the direct messages I was getting, the emails, the Snapchats, like people were truly appreciative and supportive of the event.
What was going through your head? Like, yeah, I'm sure there was points in time and throughout the 150 miles where you're like, you're getting tired, your feet hurt. What kept you going? Was it just like all the positivity, or what was it?
Most of the time it was because I knew Preston was 5 miles ahead, so I was like, I gotta walk them.
Yeah.
I have to get to him.
You have to get to the truck, so. And
there were only a few times where I had to like actually stop and like lift my feet up because they hurt that bad. So like day 2, I'd say day 2 was the roughest for me physically and mentally. So I was like, I realized day 2, I was like, I picked up an endeavor that I was not prepared for.
Yeah.
And then day 3, September 11th, I started the morning off by listening to George W. Bush's speech at Ground Zero the day after the attacks. And that just like put me in like the right mindset and mood to like, I slept in a hotel at night. I had all the food available. I had water available. And I put that in perspective. I was like, how can I bitch and complain about what I'm doing right now when like people people go to Afghanistan, go to Iraq, get shot up. Like there's far worse things that I could be involved in at that moment. There's no reason for me to complain or bitch about how I feel.
I think that's an important point for everybody. You know what I mean? Like in our day-to-day lives, I mean, sure, that's something I mean, even me, like I can think about, and it's like we really don't have anything to complain about. When we really put everything in perspective, we live pretty comfortable lives. And I think it's important to put yourself outside of your comfort zone, and that's really what you did. You really put yourself outside your comfort zone, pushed yourself, did something that you knew you weren't going to be it wasn't going to be comfortable. You knew you weren't going to be prepared for. You just did it.
Yeah, and like the ultimate goal of it was to raise money for the efforts in Houston. But like during the event, I realized like what kind of impact it was leaving on people that follow me.
Yeah.
Like, because a lot of my followers, like people that are in the military, are thinking about joining the military, high school. and they're prepping for like that kind of life, and they see that kind of stuff, and they're just like, it makes them push harder to achieve their goal. And that's also one of the reasons I like went to the gym that night.
Mm-hmm.
It's like I was like, well, what do people expect me to do next? They probably expect me to go grab a beer and just lay in bed. And I was like, I'm gonna go to the gym and I'm gonna put something on Instagram story, just show some clips, so people are like, all right, you can keep pushing yourself. Like when I was in ROTC, I had this one instructor, and there's a lot of people throughout my time in the military that left like these huge impacts on me. And I had this one instructor who was just a physical beast. Like he never got tired. And he would say this thing, like he put us through these workouts where you feel like your body can't go any longer.
Yeah.
And he'd say, this too shall pass. Like this too shall pass. Like at some point it has to end. Some point the pain has to end. Some point the struggle has to end. And you just embrace it and just be aware of what's going on at that moment and live it. And then you got to know it's going to end at some point. It's either going to end or you're going to die.
Yeah.
So, and that's one thing that really stuck with me, like through Ranger School too. I'd be like, this too shall pass. Like when things got like really hard or really difficult, there's got to be an end point.
Yeah,
and
there has to be an end. You just gotta. It's almost like you just gotta keep pushing yourself. It's like, it's one of those things where with that, when you have that mindset, you can just do like one more step. You can go. You're not gonna quit today. You'll reevaluate tomorrow, and then when tomorrow comes, you're like, I'm not gonna quit today. I'll reevaluate tomorrow, and you just kind of keep pushing it, and then eventually you get through it, and then it ends.
Yeah, and that's actually one thing I mentioned on YouTube once is when we were, and a lot of people didn't understand this, the perception of this. When we were in Ranger School, you don't want to quit, but the thought of just ending it is like always there.
Oh yeah, it has to come up.
You'd walk up to guys in the morning, you'd be like, hey, how you doing? They're sucking. And they'd be like, you want to quit tomorrow? And we'd be like, yeah, we'll quit tomorrow.
Yeah.
But it was always tomorrow.
Always tomorrow, yeah.
So like you're like, all right, we'll just suck it up today and then we'll quit tomorrow. You weren't going to quit, but it's like, all right, let's put everything we have 100% today.
Yeah.
Tomorrow will end.
Exactly.
Then you wake up the next morning, it's like, I still have 100%. We'll put 100% forward. We'll quit tomorrow.
Yeah, exactly. I love that.
A lot of people didn't understand that mindset. Like they were like, oh, why would you even think about quitting? It's not that. When things are like really sucking, just the thought of like the end goal of something, it's like leave everything on the table. Leave it all on the table now.
Well, it gives you like that little light at the end of the tunnel, even if it's artificial. You know what I mean? Like you wake up and you're like, I can see the light. If I can just get through today, I'll quit tomorrow. But then you wake up in the morning and you're like, okay, well, I'll just create that light again. It's like, if I just get through today, I'll quit tomorrow. And it's just you keep doing that. And
that was funny. That's one of the things like with the 150-mile ruck is I've never done something that long.
Mm-hmm.
So day one, I was treating it like a 12-miler. So I was running the downhills. I was striding the uphills. I was like shuffling. I was moving fast. And I was like halfway throughout the day, and I was like, man, this is if anything I've ever done in my life, this is literally close to a marathon.
Yeah.
It's more than a marathon.
More than, yeah.
Yeah, so I was like, I shouldn't be focused on like ending. I just need to be focused on this day.
Yeah.
And that's where it made things a whole lot easier. I wasn't worried about the end because I knew I wasn't going to reach 150 miles in one day.
Mm-hmm.
But at least like hit the next Buc-ee's gas station.
Is that what you used for like markers?
Yeah, man, which is cool because every 35 to 40 miles, there'd be a Buc-ee's gas station. And Buc-ee's puts their signs out so far. So, like, I'd start the morning, I'd see, like, Buc-ee's in 38 miles. I'd be like, yeah, we're going to that Buc-ee's. And that's where we end at night.
Yeah, that would be like the end point, yeah.
Yeah, we'd grab some Buc-ee's sandwiches and then grab a hotel.
So I've heard you talk about Buc-ee's a lot. It's a pretty sick gas station.
It's up north, you guys got, like, Sheetz and Wawa.
Yeah, how's it compared to Sheetz?
If you took Sheetz and, like, multiply it by, like, 100, it's like that.
Oh, wow.
You drive into Buc-ee's, it's, like, 100 pumps. They have, like, the made-to-order stuff. They have food. They have their, like, own deli. They sell, like, clothing. It's, like, everything you ever want is there. I found the weirdest things in Buc-ee's.
So it's, like, pretty much like the Texas-sized Sheetz?
Yeah, pretty much, yeah. And like, there's not too many of them. So like, if you find a Buc-ee's, you have like, even if I'm driving, if I have no intention of getting food or gas, I'll still stop at Buc-ee's just to go to the bathroom and walk in.
Yeah, just to walk in. So are they only in Texas?
I think they're only in Texas. I've only ever seen them in Texas.
Uh-huh.
But If you ever see a Buc-ee's, you gotta
You
stop.
gotta stop. So what was your nutrition like? I know you mentioned a little bit of what you ate. So kind of take us through a day. So you're walking like 40 miles a day. What were you eating and drinking throughout the day? I'm sure you probably like had a bigger meal at night, but take us through the day.
Yeah, I would hit so every hotel we stayed up, just the continental breakfast in the morning.
Yeah.
I really put no emphasis on protein those 4 days.
Mm-hmm.
I really didn't care much about protein. It was
Yeah.
it was fats and carbs. So like every 5 miles when I stopped and linked up with Preston and Shad, I would drink like a Gatorade. I would chug a Gatorade. I was drinking water the whole way, but I would chug a Gatorade,
Mm-hmm.
and I would eat peanuts, almonds, Cliff Bars, little fruit snacks,
Mm-hmm.
things that were light. So
Yeah,
I probably
high energy stuff.
I probably got in like 40 to 50 grams of fat and like maybe 100 grams of carbs every time I stopped.
Mm-hmm.
I brought like 4 jugs of protein, didn't crack them open at all.
No.
I like the last thing I wanted was a protein shake.
You brought 4 jugs. What did you think you were gonna have? Just be plowing protein shakes?
I thought I was gonna be like just trying to get my protein high.
Yeah, yeah.
And people like hit me up like, Nick, you still hitting your macros? Like that was like no, like,
You're like,
I
no.
just wanted to keep fats high, carbs high, sustained energy, and I felt great.
Mm-hmm.
Like from the foods I ate, I felt absolutely amazing.
Did you
And then-
when you stopped at night? Did you have like a bigger meal or?
Yeah, at night. Well, the first night we stopped in
Who's knocking?
the first night we stopped in a Subway because there was like
There
nothing.
he is.
Yeah, it's Preston
What's
and
up?
Joe.
What up?
What up? What up? You're joining in on the podcast here.
Yeah, still going. So the first night we stopped in this town where there was like literally nothing.
Uh-huh.
Only place we could find was like a seafood joint in the middle of Houston. And I was like, I'm not getting seafood in the middle of Houston.
Wait, was it the first night?
Yeah, first night. Oh no, not middle of Houston. First night we stopped in. It was near LaGrange. What was the first town we stopped in?
Probably like middle of nowhere.
It was close to LaGrange. We stopped in LaGrange the second night. I can't remember the first time we stopped in this random town, Bastrop.
Okay.
Bastrop was where we stopped the first night, and it was this random seafood joint and a Subway. So we just went and got Subway.
Yeah,
It was like
Subway.
the worst Subway experience we ever had in our life too. It was like
The worst?
oh, it was bad, man. It was bad. I asked for an Italian sub. I'm like exhausted at this point.
Yeah.
Like, can I get an Italian sub? And she just put salami on it. I was like, can I get pepperoni and ham too?
Yeah.
And she's like, that'll be extra. I was like- and then the rest of our meals were just pretty much Buc-ee's, man. Like, after we were done, we went to the hotel, and I pretty much fell asleep right away. I did some foot care
I was
stuff.
gonna say, did you do anything special for recovery?
For the first night, I did a Epsom salt bath. And I just decided not to do that again because I used all the salt on the first night.
The first night, yeah.
So what I ended up doing is at night I was wearing moleskin a lot on my feet just to take care of them through the ruck. So I take the moleskin off at night. I clean them down with alcohol because like what happens when you wear boots and you sweat for a long period of time, your feet get like white. The bottom get white.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
It looks like there's like worms that go through your feet because there's all these holes. So it's like one of the most disgusting things you'll ever see in your life.
Yeah, I can imagine.
So like my feet were gross. So I would kind of just let them air out, elevate them, clean them off with alcohol, and then just let them rest all night. And then I'd be laying in bed and they'd feel great. I'd wake up in the morning, I'd be like, man, my body feels amazing. Like my feet feel so great.
And then
I'd go
step
step on the ground, man, and my body would just crumble.
Oh man, I can believe it. How was the weather?
Oh, weather, we couldn't have got better weather. So it was like 80, 85 degrees, sunny every day. That's why I took my shirt off. I was like, man, there's no way I'm going to get burnt. Lo and behold, though, got completely burnt.
I got toasted. Shit.
Yeah, I got toasted, man. It was, the weather was perfect, though. Like, it wasn't too hot. It was breezy. No rain. I was worried about rain. That's one thing I was worried about.
Did you pack for rain?
I did. So I had, because it was only 2 weeks' notice, I didn't have more boots that were broken in.
Mm-hmm.
So I had one pair that were really broken in. The other two were brand new. and I tried putting them on day 2. My feet were so swollen that they wouldn't go in the boots.
Uh-huh.
So I just stuck to one pair. The backup plan, contingency plan, was to wear the other pair if they got wet, which I really didn't want to do because I probably wouldn't be walking at all right now.
Yeah, that'd be really bad.
It would have been a mess.
Shit, dude. So what do you got planned? What's your next endeavor here? What's the next goal? Do you have something?
Yeah, so next month in October, I'm actually heading out to, I just signed the contract today, so I can now talk about it. I'm heading out to London, and I'm doing, it's like a collaboration job with this London-based company. It's a fitness company. They're putting together this platform where I'm doing a kind of a series on how I grew my fitness-based business supplement company with experience in the military and management and leadership. So there's going to be like probably a 20 video series that I'm doing with them. And there's another female, I don't know if I can say her name yet. It'll be announced then. She's going with too. And we're building that platform. So that'll be like a week or 2 that I'm out in London
cool.
building this content, which I'm looking forward to because it's going to be a platform where I can really tell my story in depth that I haven't done yet. So it's going to be the story plus like tips and tricks that I've learned along the way because as you know, like everything I've learned is through failure.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's how most people learn.
Yeah, a lot of failure and growth. So it'll be a good platform where it'll be very well thought out and deliberate and it'd be available for people to learn from.
Awesome. So when did you say that was? In October?
That's the middle of October. So that's like my next big thing coming up. And then after that, I'm launching a new supplement company, a new line. So I think I talked to you about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're launching a new line. Me and Chase Tuning are working together right now. So we were in LA the other month, met with manufacturers, and we're putting production orders in place now. So that's kind of what's coming up. This next year will be crazy busy with that.
That's awesome.
But I'm looking forward to. I'm really looking forward to this London trip because I think it'll be a great way for me to reach a market that I haven't reached yet.
Yeah.
And a great way to build not only the BPN brand, but my personal brand as well.
Yeah, dude, it sounds awesome. And you got the new podcast out as well.
Yeah, podcast is out. I've been trying to keep up with it, trying to do one a week, and it's all been solo stuff. So I'll bring Preston on for some. But essentially, a lot of it's like driven behind what I've learned in the military and how it correlates to running a business and building a business. Because like when I was in, I was aware that like the things I was learning in the Army were so comparable to things like running a business. And at first, like, I was infantry.
Yep.
So everyone tells you, like, don't go infantry. You can't use any of those skills outside of the military. That's completely false. Like, everything I've learned when in has been directly relatable to owning and running a business. Well, management, leadership stuff.
Well, it's like almost whenever you hear that, like, oh, you'll never use it. Kind of like people say that to like going for an exercise science degree. I mean, people told me that, oh, you'll never use anything, which, I don't use a lot of it. Not a lot of it was applicable, but shit, you can learn, and especially if you know how to apply stuff, you can learn from anything. Especially something like, you can definitely apply some shit to business.
Yeah, and when I was in, I would always listen to these podcasts, business podcasts on the way to work, and like I'd be listening to these business podcasts, and I was like thinking, is this guy like talking to me like personally about like military stuff, even though he had like no military experience? Like the things he was telling me, like I was experiencing on a daily basis.
Yeah. Because
the military is set up like a corporate organization. You have tiers of leadership and management, and it's broken down to different echelons, and you're just trying to accomplish one task broken into subtasks. It's the same thing.
Yeah. Yeah, dude, that's awesome. It sounds like you got a lot of stuff going on, and it should be a good end of 2017 and heading into 2018.
Yeah, we have some big things planned for 2018 because right now we're really getting into wholesale accounts too with BPN, which is big. So for the longest time, we just kept it exclusive, our own e-commerce based platform.
Yeah.
And now we're breaking into more like retail shops, wholesale accounts with other online distributors. So
I know you guys have a deal with Amazon, right?
Yeah, so Amazon Prime we launched about a few months ago, and that's been doing very well for us. But like, it's hard for us to touch other countries right now because of restrictions on customs and dietary supplements. So one thing we're working on now is different distributors in different countries.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Just reach different markets. because sometimes we'll ship stuff to different countries and customs grabs, and it's like, what are these drugs?
Yeah.
And it's like, but it's protein powder. So that's one thing we're trying to work on this year, and that's like one of our main goals.
Awesome. Dude, I feel like we could go on for an hour. We got to do another one.
Oh, for sure. Absolutely.
Yeah, we definitely have to do another one, dude.
There's plenty of things to talk about, man. There's been a lot that's happened in the past 4 to 5 years since we met.
I know, dude. It's like, it's crazy. Well, shit, it's been a year since you've been on the podcast. I know we hung out in June, but definitely have to have you back on within the next year for sure.
You know what'd be good is we got all the guys from June 10th seminar on one podcast.
Oh, dude, that would be nuts.
That
would be awesome. I don't know the logistics of it, but if we could do that, that'd be like insane.
That'd probably get out of hand, but that'd be fun.
It would get out of hand. But get some whiskey or something.
Yeah, bring Matt Vincent and Silent Mike, and it'll get out of hand.
Yeah, for sure. I think that was a unique crew. I think we would definitely if everyone was on the one podcast, it'd be pretty nuts.
Yeah, I'll try to plan one of these coming up here soon. I was talking to Tron Beckham too. Mm-hmm. Bring him down to this next one.
Yeah.
And we'll definitely have to plan another one. I'll start putting one together.
Yeah, for sure, dude. I think everyone who was at the last one would definitely be down.
Fall here in Texas is beautiful too, so it'll be nice.
Yeah, that'd be sick. I'm excited.
I'll keep you in the loop.
For sure, dude. So how can everyone follow you? What's the social media and everything?
So Instagram is Nick Bear Fitness. Bear is BARE. And then YouTube, Bear Life Nutrition, but it's probably just easier to search Nick Bear.
Yeah.
And then a lot of stuff is branded behind Bear Performance Nutrition or BPN Supplements.
And the podcast is The Nick Bear Show?
The Nick Bear Show.
The Nick
yes.
Bear Show. I will put I'll put the links to everything in the show notes.
Oh, thanks, man.
Dude, it was awesome. This was fun.
Yeah, it was a good time. We'll definitely have to do this again.
I know, we definitely do. That's the thing with these podcasts. Like, I feel like, especially like someone like you, like, I honestly feel like we could just go on we could do like probably 10 of these in a row and not talk about the same shit. I hope you enjoyed this episode of the Absolute Strength Podcast. I know I had a ton of fun producing it for you. And before you go, if you could just drop me some feedback, I'd love it. I love reading your feedback. So you can go over to iTunes, leave a 5-star rating, write a little review of what you think of the podcast. I absolutely love it. I read every single one. But it's cool if you don't want to do that. I get it. No one wants to really go out of their way to do anything, let alone write a review. But I want to get your feedback. So drop me a line on Instagram at KyleHuntFitness, or on Facebook, Kyle Hunt, or on Twitter, or send a pigeon or something. I don't know. I just want to hear your feedback. So if you want to give me some feedback, let me know what you think. Hit me up on Instagram at KyleHuntFitness. And before you go, I have one last thing I want to say. I have a program I want you to check out. It's actually called the Absolute Strength Program, and the link is in the show notes. It's a program I designed to help increase my own squat, bench, and deadlift. And I got pretty strong off of it, and I think you're going to like it. It's a great book. Thousands of people have got amazing results from it. It's in the show notes. All right, guys. Until next time, until next episode, peace.